Om Swastiastu. Hello everybody, welcome to this video. In this video, I want to explain the material about education in Indonesia. For the first, let me to introduce myself. My name is Putu Mendah Dewi. Okay, in this video, I will to explain for the first, the definition of education. Second one, history of education in Indonesia. Third, educational goals in Indonesia. 4. Level of education in Indonesia. 5. The quality of education in Indonesia. And the last, solution to education problems in Indonesia. Okay, we are going to definition of education. In Latin, education means education, which come from the word e and duco. E means development from outside, from within, or development from a little to a lot. While duco means developing. From here, education can also be called an effort to develop one's abilities. According to Wikipedia, education is the learning of knowledge, skill, and habits of a group of people that are passed down from one generation to the next through teaching, research, and training. Next is history of education in Indonesia. Education in Indonesia start from colonialism era. In that time, Dutch introduced the formal education system to Hindia Belanda. During the Japanese occupation, there were many changes including the education system and educational goals. The positive impacts of this change is the elimination of educational dualism and the widespread use of Indonesia. At that time, the goals of education was to produce an army to win the war for Japan. Other positive impact included the formation of school teacher and choosing student and youth. Back then, the educational responsibilities under the teaching office were known as Bon QQ in Japanese. At the beginning of the independent era, education was developed and guided by Article 31 of the 1945 Constitution. The article said every citizen has the right to education. After independent era, the government assigned Ki Hajar Dewantara as the first minister in the education and teaching department. In the year 1963 until 1995, education experiences rapid progress, which was marked by expanding opportunities for education. And the government enacted Law Number 2 of 1989 concerning the nation education system. This is intended to strengthen the education system. Subsequent change occurred through Law Number 22 years 1999 concerning regional autonomy. Indonesia passed a new law namely Law Number 20 of 2003. Its implementation is regulated in Government Regulation Number 70 of 2010. Law Number 20 of 2003 concerning the nation education system. While for education system regulate in government, Regulation Number 70 of 2010 concerning of education management and implementation. The development of the nation education system is still continuing. Moreover, Indonesian education ranking is still far behind. Its development is carried out by adopting the education system from developed countries and referring to current development. And the current Minister of Education of our country is Nadiem Makarim. Next is educational goals in Indonesia. Based on Law Number 20 of 2003, the goals of nation education are: for the first, becomes a human who believes in and fear of God Almighty. This for educational goal show that faith and pity in God Almighty are important factors that greatly affect the quality of human resources. Next, becoming a human with noble morals. Forming human being with a noble character must be applied to the lowest to the highest education. Next, becoming a capable human. This goal is very important as a measure of the quality of a nation's human research. During or after receiving education, a student must have certain skill. Next, becomes a creative human. The purpose of this education must be applied so that students have the ability to solve problems and help others. Of course, it is also hoped that someone can contribute in providing solutions to various problems that exist in the country. Next, become an independent human. Independence is a condition where a person can stand alone without dependent on others. Independence can be applied in teaching and learning life. And the last becomes a democratic and responsible citizen. In these educational goals, it is hoped that citizens will become democratic and responsible because democracy is just take possession with responsibility for the creation of a democratic life in accordance with the basic principle of democracy. Next, we are going to the level of education in Indonesia. Classification at the level education classification at the educational level, I mean. For the first, early childhood education. From Law Number 20 of 2003, Article 1, Paragraph 40 concerning the nation education system. Early childhood education strived for guidance aimed at children from birth to 6 years of age, which is carried out by providing educational stimuli to assist physical and spiritual development. Classification According to age, children from 4 until 6 years will attend kindergarten. Next, basic education, which included basic education are elementary school, and for classification according to age, children from 7 until 12 years old and junior high school. For classification according to age, children from 13 until 15 years old. This is regulated in Article 13 and 14. If categorized from the type of education pathway, this basic education included formal education. But if categorized from the type of education, this basic education included general education. Still level of education in Indonesia. Number 3, secondary education. Secondary education is an advanced level of basic education, namely senior high school, for 3 years of travel time. And for classification according to age, children from 16 until 18 years old. Regulate in Article 15. If categorized from type of education pathway, the secondary education also included formal education. But if categorized from the type of education, the secondary education included general education also. Next, the last, higher education. Education which included higher education that are diploma, that is 1 year travel time, bachelor 4 years, master and doctor 2 years. And classification according to age class, this program can be followed by various age. This regulate in Article 60 until 22, the law. If categorized from the type of education pathway, in this education also include formal education. But if categorized from the type of education, this education include academic education. Next is quality of education in Indonesia. The quality of education in Indonesia is getting worse. This can be seen from the quality of teacher learning and student. Another causes of the low quality of education in Indonesia there are, for the first, effectiveness of education in Indonesia. Second one, teaching efficiency in Indonesia. Third, standardization of education in Indonesia. 4. Low quality physical facilities. 5. Low teacher quality. 6. Low student achievement. 7. Lack of equitable educational opportunities. 8. The low relevance of education to need. And the last, the high cost of education. Apart of some of the causes for the low quality of education, there are some facts about education in Indonesia. For the first, the number of schools and libraries is increasing. Second one, the number of undergraduate teachers is increasing. And the last, curriculum. Until 2070, Indonesia has implemented several educational curriculum. The beginning of the educational curriculum in the country was implemented in 1947, um, or we can say 2 years after Indonesian independence. From the Ministry of Education and Culture note that are 11 curriculum that have been used in world of education in the country, that are study plan 1947, second lesson plan and relevant 1952, 3 education programs 1964, curriculum 1968, curriculum 1975, curriculum 1984, curriculum 1994, competency basic curriculum 2004 in Indonesia we can say KBK. Education unit level curriculum 2006 in Indonesia we can say KTSP. Curriculum 2013 and the last curriculum 2015. And the last topic, that is solution to education problems in Indonesia. The condition of Indonesia education, which is still far from ideals, needs to take action that is at last close to ideal education in the form of policies or other steps deemed necessary. Among others, for the first, increases supervision. The government must increase supervision of schools related to the admission of new students so that they are in accordance with the provision, both age and other requirements. Next, increases the level of community. Increases the level of community welfare so the children in rural areas can also attend school. Next, leveling out the development. Leveling out the development of school infrastructure not only in cities but in remote areas is also a concern. Improve the quality of teaching staff. Improve the quality of teaching staff so that the result of their student will be more optimal. Tighten supervision. Tighten supervision of the distribution of education funds that are distributed to schools so they are right on target. Increases teaching material. Increases teaching material or textbooks so that students have adequate learning media, especially for less fortunate people. Give appreciation. Give appreciation to student or teacher who excel, either in the form of financial or other award, to motivate teacher and student in the teaching and learning process. Increases public access to be able to enjoy education in Indonesia. The distance of a student house from the school is very far, especially in remote areas, so many children are lazy to go to school. Therefore, the government must pay more attention to the condition of road access to remote village to get to school. Improve the quality of education by increasing the qualification of teacher and lecturer and increasing the average passing score of the nation exam. It increases the number of type of education in the file of competency or professional vocational school. Build infrastructure such as increasing the number of computer and libraries in school. Uh, as I explained earlier in the Indonesian education fact section, increases the education budget. In this section, it is divided into two programs. For the first, from government, the source of funds from the local government come from the district or city, or we can say APBD in Indonesia. The second one, from community. It is from the community that the fund collected by an educational institution for the provision of education. For example, educational guidance contribution or SPP in Indonesia. Sources of fund from the public can be in the form of non-binding donation, either from individual or from foundation or companies located at home or abroad that have great concern and concord for the development of education and culture. And the last, utilization of information technology in educational application. Okay, I think that's all about my explanation. Thank you for attention. Om Santi 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 Om.